Hello and welcome back to AC's Make and Repair. Well, here we go. I've got a little fun thing for you guys today and girls out there today. This is what a friend of mine used to call a cooey stick. There's probably different other names in different parts of the world. He used to call them a cooey stick for a reason I'll show you in a minute. And if it's basically a little thing that shows you how physics works with vibration or kinetic energy. And what you can do is if you rub this like that, the propeller on the end turns, as you can see. But the amazing part about it, I can actually make that, while I'm rubbing this, stop and go in reverse, as you can see there. See how it stopped? It's going in reverse, and then it stopped, and it's going in forward again. Now, my friend used to call him a cooey stick because as he did it, he would go cooey, and he would break the word in two. Now, and as he did, he'd make the propeller turn, and everybody thought it was because he was saying the word cooey, it was going in reverse. You could literally go reverse, and it goes in reverse. But you could use any word you want. Cooey's a term in Australia. If you're out in the bush and you want to call out your friends and they're a long way away, you usually yell out cooey. I think it's an old Aboriginal term. I don't know for sure. But yeah, that was a term they used to use. So he called them a cooey stick, and they're fun for all the family, and kids love them. And they try to work out how to make it go in reverse. And I'll show you people later how to do that. But firstly, I'll show you how I made this item. Okay, so here you see me cutting down a piece of pine. I'm going to cut it down to a square piece, roughly 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, or 13 millimeters by 13 millimeters by roughly 8 1/4 inches long, or 205 millimeters long. I'll cut that down and clean it up a bit and make it the same size as I just said. So I now fit it between the centres and the lathe. And once I fit it between the centres, I then proceed to taper down one end gradually. A very shallow taper, excuse me. And at the other end of the handle, I just, as you'll see in a second, I just trim the end, round over the end a little bit just to make it neat at the end of the handle. But at the nose end, which is the tail stick end on the lathe, you'll see now I'll begin to taper it away just in a simple form. I'll just show you how I did that too. So now take this rough blank, and I put some little half moon grooves like that all the way along for about 3.5 inches, or roughly 75 to 80 millimeters there. They're roughly 1/4 inch diameter. And this is so I can use this to make the vibration, to make the propeller turn on this toy. I just evenly space them by eye. It doesn't have to be crucial. And I try to balance it to each side so it's equal on each side. Now it's time to make the propeller. So I make the propeller roughly 2 inches long, or 50 millimeters long, by around about 3/8 of an inch wide, or roughly 10 millimeters wide. It is about 3 millimeters thick, or 1/8 thick, and the size of the hole in the middle of the propeller is determined by the size of the nail that we will use, or the little clout that we use to fix the propeller. Here you'll see me marking the centre of the propeller. It is important to get the centre so it's balanced. Now I just give it a quick sand to take all the furry bits off and to round those little bumps over a little bit so they're nice and smooth, but they can still vibrate. No worries at all. Now for the hole. Here's the little clout we'll be using. It's roughly 3/4 of an inch long, or 20mm long. It's a tiny little panel clout for random groove plywood. They used to use these, and it works quite fine for this. So the hole has to be very loose, fit for the nail. You can see how it's flopping around there, and the propeller spins freely on it. So we take that and we put it in. Now I've left the centre mark from my tailstock of the lathe in the end of this. Alternatively, you can actually sand that taper down on a sander of some sort. You don't need a lathe to do that. You can file it down, rasp it down, sand it down. Roughly mark centre and tap it in. Now, I suggest you don't tap it all the way home. You can actually leave it very floppy. So in that case, you could have left it out 1/4 of an inch even the nail. So there's an 1/8 of an inch gap between the head of the nail and the propeller itself. So here I'm turning down the little stick that you rub over the bumpy bits on the other part of the toy. It creates the vibrations. This is a little bit of pecan nut. I think it's a member of the hickory family, so it's a hard piece. It can be anywhere between 3/8 and 7/16 diameter. It's not really crucial, it just has to rub over and make it vibrate. I use a little bit of hardwood because it's actually better, I find. You can use a bit of dowel if you want it, there's no problem there, but a 3/8 dowel would work fine. I'll make it about 4 inches long and just round the ends over. Okay, so now for the secret of how I make it go in reverse. No, it's not the word. It's not the word. It's not any word that makes it. It's not magical. It is basic physics. That's all it is. And it's kinetic energy, because kinetic energy can come in the form of vibration, which can cause gyration in some ways on different things. And I will show you what you're doing is actually transferring vibration to one side, which makes the propeller spin one way, and then back to the other side, which makes it spin another. Now, if you can see carefully, I'm just trying to bring that into focus for you people. I actually made the nail stick out a bit longer there, so it's nearly 1/4 of an inch sticking out. So it's nearly twice the thickness of the propeller. It gives it plenty of looseness and liberty to spin around easily. So what we do is, to make it go one direction, you have to put either pressure on this side or that side of the stick, and that transfers vibration to the propeller and makes it go one way. I'll show you. I'm going to use my index finger, put it on this part, and as I rub, I'm going to put force down on that, and as you can see, it's turning the propeller. Now, when I want to make it go in reverse, I put my thumb against there like that, and I rub it, and make the vibration, and it transfers the energy to the opposite side, which makes the propeller go in reverse. So effectively, forward and reverse. So what you do to shift it, I'll show you. Just go down a bit. It's very hard in this light. Excuse me. So Sorry about that. So if I just keep a gap between the stick like that. To go one way, I push on there. To go the other way, I push on there. Hope you can see that. So when I'm rubbing it, I push on one side, and when I go in reverse, I push on the other side like that. And look, people don't notice that subtle movement from on top. So I'm on one side of the stick now. This propeller is turning, and now I'm going to transfer my thumb to this side. So I transfer the thumb to that side. Takes a little bit of a time for the propeller to stop, but the thumb is rubbing on that side, and it makes it spin back the other way. So there we go. Very simple. And there we go. And by the way, the faster you rub it, the faster the propeller goes. Either way. I'll tell you now, if you have some trouble, your blade might be able to balance. It might be too stiff on here or too hard up against there. You don't need it firm or stiff on there at all. You need it just loose like that. And like I said, the nail further out makes it run very easily. So that's just basically it. Well, thanks for joining me on AC's Make and Repair as I made this today. I hope you find it fun. I hope your kids find it fun, or your grandkids, or your nieces or nephews, or your friends. They're very easy to make. You don't need a lathe. You can make them without a lathe. You can shave that down by hand, and you can just use a bit of dowel and so forth for that. They are good fun though. Look, as usual, if you like the video, please like it. Hit that little thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Thanks for those new subscribers subscribing, and of course the old ones for staying loyal and following my videos too. I really appreciate that. And look, please share me with your friends. That really goes a long way to getting more subscribers, trying to grow the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. I am at home now, and my wife is recovering quite well. For those that, in the last video I explained how my wife had to have some surgery due to cancer in this area, and some tonsils taken out that weren't cancerous, thankfully, and that was good. So she's home recovering, still in a bit of pain. So just thought I'd share that with you, for those that were curious. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.